Does it only show the basic rules? Like, come on, DMG. Do I have to buy the DMG in order to know things out of the DMG? Alright, whatever. No, you know what? $1,200 for magical item right now, not a big deal, because if I remember correctly, 2,000 is for a rare, and that's not even the issue. I mean, you have the materials. It's just that this guy's skills are such. He spends that many hours, 12 hours grinding stone, and he's 100 gold an hour. And he's just the royal guy who can do magical grinding and using his wheel and etc. etc. etc.
Not hiring the royal guy. I'm hiring some random apprentice looking to skill up, basically.
Okay, he breaks it in half and he fails.
Okay. Not worried about that.
But then you get no goggles. That's my point. Is like, it's either you get goggles and they're 1,200, or I gotta roll for it and there's a chance you won't get it.
I would rather roll 6 times and have the equal cost.
The guy won't have any bonus whatsoever. Shit bonus. I don't even know what the rules are offhand because I don't know where my DMG went. I'm actually kind of curious. Fucking hell out of it. In any event.
How much are the radiant rifles worth? Just while we're on the subject. Or are they magical or mechanical?
They're magical. After a fashion. I guess they'd probably be priced at $4 grand. Because it's this spell, permanency, and then they have to have the modular blah 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 materials. So they'd be worth 4,000 in precious minerals that you would be able to sell through the roost. You got to remember, like the economy here is based on the perceived rarity of stuff. You know, and the weirdest stuff in this kingdom is available. The Summerhill folk keep the place in wine and fruit. You are at the northernmost peaks of the world, and you're getting fruit flown in from some moats that just happen to have a trade deal with the Summerhill family. You know, like that's just them. It's super expensive, but it's there. Like an apple is not cheap. But the clergy have lots of them. Why? Money. And why do you guys have so much money? Because you have wicked gear. You have awesome steel and amazing armors.
And you said that my little organization thinks it's 2,000 gold a month?
2,000 gold a month, yeah. What, you figure like you should get 20,000 out of the gates?
No, I'm saying we should knock a zero off of everything, basically.
Right, but you have to consider, it's 200 per family that has a family member in there. So 200 per lieutenant that you have from each family. Mm-hmm. And so each family is paying you for keeping, training. They're paying for their kid to be a part of your group.
I'm just saying it's going to be 20 years before I give everyone that I have so far a gun and maybe some weapons.
A gun and maybe some what?
And maybe some night vision weapons.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's what? 5,200 per guy?
So this is presuming that you have no growth in your company whatsoever.
Exactly, presuming I have no growth.
And I ask you this, is that actually a possibility?
The rate we're going, the rate we might go through people.
This is the first session, how can you fairly say that? You haven't lost anybody. In fact, all you've done is gain on this.
I'm just saying the math is not adding up.
The math isn't adding up because it's 1 plus nothing. This is literally the first session, and you're like, there's nothing happening here. There's no advancement. I don't see a curve, not bell, not nothing. There's nothing happening here. Well, no, this is the end of the first session. You guys came this far. You took 2 different people out with you. I don't know. And that's the thing, is like, do you want to do MacGuffins? Do you want to do role-playing? That was the original question. I think it's a fair question. I don't know. Now you're the only one left, though. So there's no actual discussion. There's just us going back and forth, which is a shame. I want more of a discussion. I wonder if everyone's getting burnt out.
Couldn't tell you.
I mean, everyone even says pretty much the same thing during the end of game review. It's always the scenery. I mean, not to fault him. Okay, thank you for observing that. But nobody really. Well, I guess Curtis did mention, he likes the story and everything. I mean, I like the story. But that's just it. Everybody has a variety. What I like is what I would complain about. That not as many people like. I like the fact that Curtis mentioned this, and he mentioned that. And it's not fair for me to actually look at either and make comment to it in a negative or positive light, because really everyone is giving me their opinion. And if my opinion is that these are the things or strengths or weaknesses of my own session, well then, I mean, so be it. But that shouldn't be a yardstick by which I look at other people's opinions, which is what I've got to be careful of. Yeah, I just wish the session had actually gone a little smoother from the get-go, and we would have gone a little further, so we could have finished this off, and it would have been one encapsulated, sense of accomplishment, as opposed to just 1 week battle at the end of some drag-ass roleplay, which I'll admit was a little drag-ass.
Was it though?
Okay, well, fair. Not in as much. There was a lot of interruptions.
We didn't really start till 8:30, and then we spent an hour on the puzzle. Everything else seemed fine.
It's about 45 minutes on the puzzle. Doesn't seem like anybody really cares about this shit anymore.
They kind of all disappeared afterwards.
Yeah, they did. It's too bad. Oh well. You have a dream. It's like I said. Shit like this, you can't be a success without a brand and a following, etc., etc. And I'm not enough of a community player to get that growth. I'm not really worried about it either.
How much of your life are you going to devote to it?
And you know what? I don't want to start being all burnt out. And
at some point, you have to devote enough time for basically being your job if you're trying to be that successful.
The bottom line being is, I can't devote enough of myself to this because, in as much as it'd be neat to do this as a performance, presentation, etc., I really don't want to do this every day of my life. Not with everything else I got going on in it. And there are other things I want to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, cramming all of this, making a lot of it up on the fly, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's easy on the wiki, actually, because you just put links for yourself, and then you open a bunch of tabs, and you write a bunch of shit in, and you close the tab. That's it. You save, done. And then if you have a bunch of links in there, you open those as new tabs, and you just keep opening new tabs and closing tabs, and opening new tabs and closing tabs, and making the shit up. Fucking 2 hours goes by quick. Baby, Which basically works out to 10 articles an hour, which is pretty heinous. But I got through it. Got it all done. Turned out pretty good.
I'll try and read through some of it.
Well, that was pretty much all of it, what I read through today. But I do have to write out thoracic stuff. And there's always more to write. As it stands, though, I'm trying to build interest in multiple angles of this. Binding up season 1 with all of this, a rack removed from the Royals Peaks, the CloudSpires, and ever present as impending threat that 2,000 years from now will be a problem. And if you guys finish off this campaign and we leap forward a couple campaigns and suddenly you guys are facing off against Rack. Yep, nobody ever actually solved that one.
We were the only kingdom that did it.
Right.
99 other people.
I'll probably just roll odds or evens. Were there enough heroes?
No, there was not.
So, I do want to get to having the Tarrasque show up. That'd be fun.
The Tarrasque doesn't fly.
No, I know, right? I'm not sure how I'll pull that off, but I'll figure something out. I gotta get a big mini for it, though. Maybe I'll just show up in a Barney costume. Roar. I love you! Smash.
I don't know whether I want that to happen or not.
I have mixed emotions about
Part of
myself.
me deep down wants to see that happen.
Oh, shit, eh? I don't know. I think personally that the mix was good, but the intro, like I said, like you said, like we said, we got really started going around 8:30, and even then it was a little bit stunted. Got really rolling around 9. The first dungeon was at 11 o'clock. We rolled into here, and that was after 40 minutes of stare at a piece of paper, and yeah, what can I say?
We can't do that.
Well,
We're
it has
so
to happen
bad.
now and
We're
again.
so
It has to happen. There's another one waiting for you guys next week, and you guys will fucking either figure it out or fail at it.
But why do puzzles like that have to exist?
I don't know. The
If
question is, how do I explain it to
If
people?
I was an evil asshole wizard like that, my door would ask a question, you would answer, and then be shot by disintegration rings. If I wanted you there, you would already have a signet ring, you would already know the command word, or I'd teleport you into my fucking tower.
Yeah, but this is a game, Joe.
Walking up to the door is just a trick to get you killed. Stay away from my fucking tower.
But it's a game, Joe.
And if our characters thought that way, then we would bypass it. We wouldn't deal it like it was some...
You're
Like it
free
was
to
a puzzle
try.
in a game.
Like, that's the thing.
I was trying.
See, yes, and I gave you the opportunity. Simple as that. You were like, hey, I have this thing, and I was like, hey, awesome, good on you.
You didn't let me stone shape away from the hinges to make the doors fall.
No, I didn't allow that because that would be affecting a magical item directly.
It would be affecting the non-magical block around the magical item.
It's got magical influence surrounding the door frame, and so it can't. And besides that, at that point, it's outside the tunnel, so you're really not able to affect it the way you'd like. I don't know, fucking, what do you want? Magical
Loopholes.
influence.
Lots of loopholes.
Magical influence disallows it. Invisible walls. I'm a dick. What do you want? At the end of the day, I don't want you walking up to every door and just magicking it away. You yourself think that's lame.
As a wizard, that's what you do. As a
I
spellcaster,
get that. I thoroughly do. But you know what else you do as a wizard? Solve puzzles. That's part of the game, and that was the thing, is that I'm trying to deliver different gameplay, so it's not always... You said it yourself. Oh, look, it's another death trap of dice rolls. Yeah, that's all the fucking game is. It's dice rolls, one after the next.
It was a little bit different.
You say you want to do something, I, the ref, try to come up with an objective dice roll for that to happen. And then we democratize the process such that everyone can agree as a part of the golden circle. That's what we do here, you know? Everyone's after a game. That game comes out of everybody, right? What we agree on for those dice rolls starts with me, goes through everybody, I have final say. Why? Because someone has to. Someone has to provide the world, somebody has to adjudicate the math, somebody has to take care of the dice rolls, and that's it. As a DM, I could opt to roll all the dice rolls, to speed up the game, but I like having everybody else roll them, alleviates me from having to remember all the rules, which I just don't want to bother with. In effect, that would somewhat limit what players would have to learn, and thusly limit what they can bring to the table. So it's whatever. I also like the fact that it surprises me not knowing what all the players are capable of, and then seeing their solutions to things. That said, you literally wanted to stone shape away the hinges of the door, and I was going to allow that. As I said, the door was coursing with magical energy. Your argument is, this portion of it wasn't magical. My argument is, it's part of the temple, it's all magical. No. Simple as that. It's like in Red Faction, where you could blow up the wall, blow up the floor, blow up the ceiling, but you couldn't blow up that one door frame.
Yep.
So, I'm gonna